Let's jump right into the dark heart of the Mzansi Magic telenovela, Champions. If you've been following the insane drama surrounding the Soshanguve Giants football club, well, you already know the Modise family is dealing with an absolute whirlwind of chaos. But, every great drama needs that one catalyst, a real driving force of conflict. So in this explainer, we're dissecting the show's dark narrative to examine the man who single-handedly tears this family and their football empire completely apart, Philemon Modise.
So today we are definitively answering the biggest question hanging over the Modise family and all that chaos at the club. When you actually step back and look at all the betrayals, the power grabs, and the heartbreaking tragedies that unfold, you kind of have to ask yourself, is there one puppet master pulling the strings? Is Philemon Modise truly the main antagonist of the series?
And the answer from the source material is an undeniable, resounding yes. Honestly, there is absolutely no gray area here, no misunderstood anti-hero complex to untangle. Philemon is the undisputed primary villain of Champions. He isn't just a minor hurdle for the heroes. He is the central opposing force driving the entire narrative right off a cliff.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Living in the Shadows. We need to look at what actually motivates this guy. Because to truly understand a villain, you have to uncover the deep-rooted psychology driving their actions, right? Villains aren't just born evil, they're made. Philemon's destructive path isn't random at all. It is fueled entirely by this incredibly bitter sibling rivalry, intense jealousy, and just uncontrollable greed. The show reveals that Philemon spent years, basically his whole life, living in the shadow of his highly successful brother, Washington. Just imagine the psychological toll of that. Year after year, watching your sibling build a massive legacy and soak up all the adoration while you're just pushed to the sidelines. That kind of deep-seated resentment, it's basically a ticking time bomb.
So for years, Philemon languished in that shadow, watching Washington build this massive soccer empire while his own bitterness just festered. You've got this stark contrast. On one side, Washington, the builder, the beloved brother, the man who actually established the Soshanguve Giants FC legacy. And on the flip side, Philemon, the jealous usurper, completely consumed by ambition and a hunger for personal power. It's a classic tale of two brothers, but with a deeply sinister twist that sets up literally everything that follows.
Moving on to Section 2, A Playbook of Betrayal. Let's talk about exactly how he seized power.
Having established the why behind his actions, it's time to look at the terrifying how. Because you have to wonder, how far would someone actually go to finally step out of a shadow? Well, Philemon's ascent to control happens in 3 devastating steps. Step 1 is harboring that bitter jealousy we just talked about. But Step 2? Step 2 is where he crosses the absolute point of no return. Philemon literally murders his own brother, Washington. I mean, this isn't just corporate espionage, this is fratricide. It's the ultimate sin, and it leads directly into Step 3, violently seizing the Soshanguve Giants empire for himself.
And you have to understand, this wasn't just a sudden crime of passion or a one-off mistake. Philemon became a true master manipulator. He claws his way to the top using a terrifying mix of deception, betrayal, and extreme violence. He constantly deceives those closest to him, exploiting the very family dynamics he grew up with just to secure his own spot at the top of the food chain.
Which brings us to Section 3, Destabilizing the Giants. Let's look at the fallout of all this chaos. Washington's tragic death becomes the defining conflict of the entire series. But the catastrophic fallout, it goes way beyond just the Modise family. Think about it. A football club is an entire ecosystem. When you brutally chop off the head of that organization, the whole body goes into shock. Philemon's personal vendetta completely destabilizes the Soshanguve Giants FC. He replaces their stability with violent power vacuums. He actively opposes the club's future, acting as a massive roadblock instead of growing what Washington built. And he installs this toxic culture of deception and manipulation, where trust is practically non-existent. Instead of stepping up to actually honor the legacy his brother built, he proves that his sole loyalty is to himself. A real leader prioritizes the institution, right? Well, Philemon does the exact opposite. Every single decision he makes and every person he betrays is done strictly to elevate his own status. He completely disregards the health, stability, and future of the football club itself.
That leads us to Section 4, A Legacy of Sabotage, how he creates endless obstacles for everyone else.
Because an antagonist doesn't just exist in a vacuum, do they? They are defined by the obstacles they throw at the heroes. As the source material explicitly lays out, Philemon serves as the central force opposing the Modise family and the future of Soshanguve Giants FC. This is exactly what cements him as the definitive villain. The protagonists and champions aren't just fighting rival teams out on the pitch. They are fighting a brutal internal war against a man who wants to own the pitch, the stadium, and the entire legacy, no matter who he has to destroy to get it.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought about Philemon Modise's blood-stained reign. Can an empire built on betrayal ever truly stand? When your entire foundation is made up of jealousy, fratricide, and constant deceit, isn't it just a matter of time before the whole thing collapses in on itself? That right there is the tension that makes Champions such an incredibly compelling watch. Philemon might have the power for now, but hey, gravity always wins. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on the pitch to see how this wild drama unfolds.